It may occur at any time. Once we leave the world, our family, our dependents are still there. We all wish them that our family should stay safe. They should be at least financially secured. So we should plan for the future when we are young. But proper financial planning is essential. But more important is to have financial security. It may be required at any time. It's not you have to wait for old age. It may be required any time. In case of unfortunate death happens, having social security is essential for the peace of mind. AIUS Family Benefit Scheme is just tailored for ophthalmologists. Today we have with us Professor Rajesh Sinha. He is Honorary General Secretary of FBS, and Dr. Jignesh Tasawala, President, Maharashtra Ophthalmic Society, Mrs. Chanda Verma from MFA Capital. I think it's going to be a great session. Thank you, Dr. Rohan, Dr. Pooja, for this initiative. Thank you very much. So let us start the session.
Thank you so much, sir. I would also request the Chairman ARC, Dr. Gaurav Luthra, to say a few words before we start the session.
Thank you, Rohan, and congratulations on making such meaningful meetings through the Youthful Chapter. Every month we are having very interesting meetings, and this is again a very important topic today, and I'm really looking forward because it will be very useful to our young ophthalmologists, and it is the need of the hour and often ignored. So I think it's going to be a very interesting session, which I'm hoping it is being recorded so that even those who miss it today can be, can use it later. So with that, I would like to pass the baton.
We would request the immediate past President, Dr. Himanshu Mehta, to say a few words before we introduce our first speaker.
Thank you. Thank you for organizing a lovely meeting. As we were just discussing at LIC, so-called, the family celebrates your death. They get the money after you die. Now that's the good old thing called insurance. That's not true. There are a lot of insurance policies, which is right, which is wrong in this lifetime. There are many things you have to insure yourself. And the knowledge is so very important, because I'll tell you from my personal experience, I spent a lot of money realizing that I bought a wrong scheme. This is something, the whole insurance industry is so huge. And by the way, 80% of the money which comes into the stock market is from the insurance industry. The Edinburgh funds and the London funds and the Swiss funds, all are capitalized. The US funds, all are on insurance. So insurance is big business for those business people, and we are spawns in the whole game. How well can we understand what is the right insurance for us? What is the least that we should be insured for and or against when you buy a property, buy your equipment, for your life, for your family? I think it's going to be a wonderful session that we are going to have, a very practical one. Thank you so much for organizing this.
Thank you so much for your kind words. We will now start the session. We have our first speaker this evening, Dr. Jignesh Tasawala, the Medical Director of Darshan Eye Care, Pune. He's currently the President of the Maharashtra Ophthalmic Society. He has been the past President of the Pune Ophthalmic Society and is a Senior Editor of the Indian Journal of Ophthalmology. Sir has been instrumental in starting the personal indemnity scheme for the ophthalms in the Maharashtra Ophthalmic Society, and he would share his point of view and why he started it in his journey on our platform. Welcome to the show, sir.
Before he starts, Jignesh Bhai, I have to give a few words. Most dynamic president that I have seen in the past few years. Proactive 6 months prior to his presidency. He's going to be starting so many schemes, financial literacy, so many other things. I think it should be at an all India. It should not be restricted at the Maharashtra Ophthalmic Society, Jignesh Bhai. A lot of information, not just ophthalmology, but on many other spheres. Thanks for doing that. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Dr. Himanshu Mehta. Thank you, the RSI, the office bearers, and office bearers of the IRSI. Sorry for the thing, Dr. Vinod Arora, the president of IRSI, organizing secretary, and Dr. Pooja Mehta, all the office bearers of IRSI, my close friend, Dr. Himanshu Mehta. He was the one who called me up, by Jignesh Bhai, tum itni committees ki hai. I made 21 committees which are beyond ophthalmology, and that is for the overall wellness of the Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society. One of these committees is for the professional indemnity. As you see, the cases are going on and on for all our colleagues, and we are at the receiving end. So I thought this is one way where we can have, one is the individual policy and one is the group policy. So once we go in for the group policy, there are a lot of benefits. As I go through my presentation, you'll come to know it's so much beneficial, so much so that the All India can also take part into it and be partner to this nice indemnity policy. So big thank you for inviting me for this session. I'd like to share my presentation. As I go through it, I'll tell you what all the benefits are and why you should be part of it. Yeah, just give me a minute. Huh? Yeah. So my topic today, Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society Professional Group Indemnity Insurance Scheme for all the ophthalmologists. Why you should join. It's not going. Navneet bhai.
Sir, you go full screen, sir.
Oh, sorry.
Slide show, full screen.
So sorry.
Yeah.
So sorry. What is professional indemnity? When a doctor sees and treats a patient, if the patient is not satisfied with the management of the disease by said doctor, the patient can file a case against him. In such an event, the insurance company comes to the rescue and fights the case and pays to the patient on your behalf the amount to be paid as per the court verdict. Of course, subject to your insurance cover. So you're not liable and you are indemnified by the insurance company whose professional indemnity you have taken. Here we have the ICICI Lombard. That is the best of the insurance companies who offers this. There are different types of policies. One is the individual policy, which has to be done by the individual directly. Yes.
Sir, the presentation is not even still, it is not full screen, sir.
I am seeing your full, absolutely.
I don't know whether others, Vinod sir, are you seeing, sir?
I think you need to turn on the slideshow mode.
Yeah, I am on the slideshow mode. I am on the slideshow mode.
Maybe restart again.
The preview mode. Go to the bottom of the screen. Can you zoom out?
Yeah, 1 minute.
You can zoom out, make it a little smaller.
Yeah.
If you go to the bottom of the screen, there is this, right next to 75%. You click on that button.
Yeah, I have done that.
Right. Can you click on it?
Yeah. Here it is. I have a full screen here by MOS Group Insurance.
So
Should I share it to you? Otherwise, you can share it at your end quickly.
Dr. Jignesh,
yes, sir. You can just email it to me.
You can share it again.
No, in fact, what Dr. Arora is saying is absolutely right. So you can stop sharing on Zoom and then share it again while you are on slideshow mode. Then it won't be a problem. Yeah. So, just on top of your screen, you just click on stop sharing. And then, from the bottom, you click again on start sharing. Then it will work.
Is it okay now?
Yes.
Not yet.
You have to go full screen now. It's better.
Are you seeing now?
No.
I'm seeing full screen
again,
here.
I think there's a problem.
Can you share the desktop instead of the file? That will help.
Sorry, go again.
Can you share the desktop instead of the file?
Instead of PowerPoint.
To share screen, basically.
Yeah, stay there. Now that's okay. We can go on.
It's okay.
That's all, sir. You keep it that only, sir.
Now keep it like this, Jignesh bhai.
Yeah. The next go ahead, sir.
Now go on for the slideshow.
No, sir. Just
go on the left side. Click on the next slide.
Click on the next slide when you want to go on 7, 8, 9.
No, sir, don't. No. That's going out of focus.
Is it going out of focus at your end? I am seeing full screen proper, right in the center.
You are seeing half of your screen. Either you share the screen not fully.
Sir, don't turn.
You have shared the part of screen.
What do I do now? You tell me. One of you.
Just go out and just keep it normally. Don't do view full screen. And then you just change the slide as you are editing the slide.
Chalega वैसे?
Yes, sir.
Yes, बिल्कुल चलेगा.
Okay.
That will be better, sir. I think you're sharing a part of your screen.
Are you seeing this now?
No, sir, this is a fault with the current browsers. And he's trying to share, he's doing the right thing, but it's still not working.
Yes, sir. Continue.
Okay.
We can
continue.
Continue.
Click on the left side. Jignesh bhai, click on the left side. Yeah.
Yes, karu chu, sir.
Go ahead. Like this. Yes, that's right.
Okay.
It's okay, sir.
Yeah, we were on this slide. Individual policy, you can see now?
Yes.
The full part or only the center?
Perfect. The way it is correct. Don't worry.
Okay. Two types of policies are there. Individual policy done by an individual directly with the insurance company, and the premium is much more, it's almost double at times than the group insurance. And of course, here there is no caretaker to support like you have the MOS here. The group policy done with a group of similar professionals under the banner such as Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society. Of course, the terms are same between the individual and the group. Why MOS professional indemnity cover? Much less premium to be paid than the regular group policies. Backup of our MOS legal advisor, Dr. A. Deshpande, who himself is a lawyer and exclusively for MOS members, at a free cost. He is also the advisor to the All India Ophthalmological Society, as a chairman of the medical legal cell. Advocate will be of insurance company free of cost. Unless you want a reputed caller, then the insurance company has fixed rates for the lawyer fees, which they pay. Beyond that, the member has to shell out the remaining of the lawyer fees. Why MOS group insurance? Here we have tried to take the criminal cases are also inclusive, which no other insurance company pays in the premium. Your hospital staff is also covered here at no extra premium. LASIK patients also, it has got already covered, which again no insurance company does it. Maximum coverage with minimum premium. It becomes effective the day you join by paying your first premium. There is no moratorium period. You can join online as MOS believes to go green and digital, and it's very simple online procedure to join. MOS group insurance is available through a very reputed company. We have hired ICI Lombard General Insurance Company, whose premium is very, very competitive, very attractive, and at a discounted price. The moment we opened up, within a month, we had 426 members who have availed it in a very short period of launching this. We have 5 members on the committee: the legal advisor, Dr. Deshpande, Dr. Sunayan Maliku, past president of Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society, Dr. Vardhaman Kankaria, the past honorary secretary. The chairman, co-chairman are there. For 5 years, we have constituted this committee. Every year, the president keeps changing and the secretary. This time, it's me and Dr. Rajesh Joshi. This is the chart which I would like to tell. Now, on a 25 lakh, the premium is only 1850 and the ratio is 1:1. What does 1:1 mean? Over a period of 1 year, if your claim is of 25 lakhs, at one go, the insurance company pays it. If you're taking it bit by bit, say first case comes at 5 lakhs, second is 10 and 5, even that is covered till you finish 25 lakhs. So it is 1:1. What is 1:2? If that ratio is taken, 2/3 is taken by the insurance company, 1/3 you are supposed to shell out. So this is the best ratio we have tried to take. The insurance company is liable to pay all your expenses. For a 50 lakh, it is 3630. For 70 lakhs, is 5030. For 1 crore, it is just 7210. If you take other companies' premium, individual or group, it is almost twice, more than 2 times. 2 crore, it is 1753, and for 5 crores, it is 43,000. For other companies, it is more than 1 lakh. So this is the benefit that we have tried to get it. 5 of us in the committee, we have tried to meet the insurance people, had multiple meetings with them, and that's why we had it at such a concessional rates. Now, how do you go about it? You first have to become an MOS member. Now, why I have done this as a rule, I have another 20 committees which are for the overall wellness of members, as Dr. Himanshu Mehta, my close friend, and the past president of IRS, I just mentioned. We have the financial literacy committee. We have the public speaking and the personality development committee, diabetic awareness committee. We have an international observership committee where we are trying to send 4 members, the fresh graduates of MOS, for international observership for a minimum of 6 weeks. That is what we are planning. Then we have an academic committee where we have preferred practice patterns coming up. Then we have the advocacy committee where we are trying to get the daycare this thing passed out for the state of Maharashtra. So that will act as a gold standard. Of course, DOS is also doing on a similar lines, but we are also planning. That is why I want first them to avail of all these benefits. we want them to become an MOS member. You need to just print out the form, fill it completely, fill in the payment details, stamp it, take a screenshot and send it to our secretary and also to the insurance person, Mr. Mudholkar. And every time you are supposed to quote your MOS membership number. In case you don't do it, then it will be treated as an individual insurance and no support whatsoever from the MOS Indemnity Committee in case of any eventuality. What are the benefits? It is discounted to almost 80%. It is the industry's lowest policy excess of 0.25 or 25,000. What does this mean? When you try and file, somebody files a case, you are supposed to shell out certain amount of this in the procedural charges. Other companies take more than 1.5 to 2 lakhs. Here they are charging only 25,000. There is a free medical legal assistance from Dr. A. Deshpande, as I just said. Cover from the market leader. These are the market leaders at the moment, the ICICI, Lombard General Insurance. Their services are very good. They immediately try and solve all your queries. It covers the staff and the LASIK people also. Any queries what you have now, try and take a screenshot if you are on the mobile, or you take a picture shot on the camera and save it and please contact it. It's definitely going to benefit. The defense cost, legal cost to be borne by the insurance company to defend the member case in the court and the forum. Lawyer panel, there will be medical legal lawyer panel to represent doctors at the time of claim, and members can choose his or her own choice of lawyer. The cashless compensation will be paid by the insurance company directly if member loses in the case of in the court. Multiple claim amounts shall be paid up to the sum insured within the policy period. Out of the court settlement also we have taken as provision of out of the court limited to the sum assured. And there is a legal cell of senior doctors for second level consultancy and breach of confidentiality. That is, cases arise due to breach of confidentiality information of the patient is also included. So, arising out of any loss of critical documents to be covered under the policy. Defamation cases also have been taken, which are filed by the patients. Dishonesty clause, where it covers allegations from the patients for dishonesty from probation. No membership or legal fees. You will not charge any kind of membership or legal fees. Advocate fees, of course, they have got fixed, but if you want your own lawyer, you have to shell out the difference. Then COVID-19 cover, any allegations of negligence from COVID-19, now that the pandemic is going on, we try to include this clause also, and also the criminal cases. So in a conclusion, first become an MOS member, get in touch with our honorary secretary. He will send you all the requisite form. You fill it online. You don't have to send anything. Fill and send the payment receipt to him. He will forward you to the insurance company and you will receive the policy online as early as possible. It is quick. Almost within a week, everything is over. So you should opt for the MOS professional indemnity policy. Everyone, all over India, pan-India, I would request people to join. You are definitely going to benefit. Of course, we are going to benefit in the way of membership strength. Thank you for patient hearing, and thanks Dr. Himanshu Mehta for your kind invitation, and also Dr. Pooja Mehta and the whole office bearers and the organizing team of IRSI. Any questions, you let me know. We can answer now, or you can take my cell number. Pooja has it. She'll display it on the screen and the email ID, and definitely all queries will be taken care of. You don't worry. Thank you very much for a patient hearing.
Sir, if I make a if I may make a point here, just one of the things. I mean, obviously the coverage and everything is very nice. There's one more important aspect when it comes to professional indemnity, and that's called retroactive date. Now, while taking a sum insured or a cover, I would suggest or recommend to take a slightly higher cover than what you think is necessary for yourself, be it 1 crore or 3 crores or 5 crores or whatever. The way retroactive date works is, see, these are all claims made basis policies. That means, let's say if, God forbid, if there's been some patient who we treated and decides to sue us at a much later date, they will actually find, the insurance company finds out at what date has this incident happened and what was sum insured on that date. So even if we increase sum insured subsequently, let's say, for example, we've been having this cover from, let's say, 2015, okay? And let's say this incident happened somewhere in 2019 or 20, and we increase the sum insured in 21. The insurance company won't pay a compensation as per the increased sum insured we did last year. they will see what was the sum insured at that time when this incident occurred. So that's why it's ideally important to have a higher sum insured from the start itself and ensure that this retroactive date is the most important thing when it comes to professional indemnity policies. Okay.
Absolutely.
Correct. Let us ensure that this retroactive date is not altered or tampered whatsoever. Right. Even while renewing the policies, this is a very common thing that we see. You know, I mean, the insurance companies very carelessly alter the retroactive date. That means, for example, 2015 से हमारा पॉलिसी है, 2020 में उन्होंने गलती कर दी इंश्योरेंस कंपनी में, रेट्रोएक्टिव डेट 2020 कर दिया, पॉलिसी में बाकी सब सेम रहेगा, सही रहेगा, बट दैट मींस the last 6 years whatever happens we will not get a cover for.
Washed out.
So basically these two are the most important aspects. Please ensure that you take this and also one more thing, always take a 1:1 cover, not to take a 1:2 cover or something. The discounting is marginal. You may have seen that. Always take a 1:1 cover. These are some of the things. And the third most thing that I would like to say is, whenever an incident happens, be at an absolute breakneck emergency to inform the insurance company and keep them informed. And the lawyers that we choose, everything has to be in consultation with the insurance company, irrespective of whether you take the cover from the general market or from the MOS. Obviously, MOS in terms of premium makes sense, much cheaper. So yeah, I mean, that's all that I would like to say. I mean,
I have to say one important thing on retroactive date. I would say those who already are having that policy, please don't close up and take this policy. Continue that for another 2-3 years, because something happens in the past and the patient claims it after 2-3 years. This policy is not going to cover exactly the way Mr. Vignesh just said. So it's very important that you continue. I am also continuing my old policy because this started last year itself. So I have just renewed it yesterday. That was the last date for the renewal this time. And then you close up the old policy after 3 years down the line. That is what I would suggest.
Sir, we can also move that policy. So basically, if we show the policy while moving in here, they will add in the policy here.
That is additional if you want to continue. But if you are taking the highest in this.
So what happens is, I mean, we have a lot of such liability programs, right? So we keep moving insurance companies based on the prices, and we can continue the retroactive date of that time into this policy. Do not maintain two policies, I would recommend, because then at the time of claim it creates confusion, and it may fall between the cracks. So ideally, move from that, show that policy to ICICI Lombard and tell them, I'm a member of this association and I would like this retroactive date to be continued for this sum insured. And then from here on, I can take whatever sum insured I want to. At least that's what I would do.
What do you already have an ICICI policy itself?
Vignesh, hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Yeah. Good evening. I stop sharing it so people will.
Hi, Ivanshu, Rohan, Gaurav.
Question.
Hi, Mohan. How are you?
Hi, fine.
You have a talk tonight.
I know.
Mohan is only talking everywhere. He's from one scene to the other scene. Okay, the question that I wanted to ask here was, Vignesh, and of course, Dr. Jignesh Bhai, per case, if you have a 1 crore or 2 crore policy, you should have number of cases covered. You have a crop of end of all whatever. You should be covered for a number of cases. So per case, how much is the limit that you're going to sanction?
Up to the full sum insured.
Full sum insured.
It's called the limit of indemnity, up to the full limit of indemnity. So for example, let's say if there's a 1 crore cover, and God forbid if there has been multiple instances where the first one sued for 10 and then 20 and then 30, but n number of cases up to 1 crore. Okay. So the limit per case is also 1 crore. And n number of cases, how many ever happen in that particular year, will also be 1 crore.
That is 1:1, exactly what he's saying.
1:1.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed your talk, Jignesh.
No issues, it's recorded. So you can listen to me and give me a minute.
Indemnity. He will give it to you personally.
You're talking about the professional indemnity, no?
Yes. He's not taking it.
No. Professional indemnity you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So
then what is the benefit of, Vignesh, what is the benefit of having these 1:2 or 1:3 or 1:4? Is there any, so benefit is only to the company, is it?
No, it's they discount the premium. So basically, when they say that, look, I have taken a 5 crore sum insured, and if I take a 1:2, you get a discount of premium over the 1:1. So thereby limiting.
But it does not see what they lead you to believe is that if you take 1:1 policy, then if one case is you have one litigation, then after that your insurance is not going to be effective, and you will not be able to, if you during that tenure of 1 year, if you have another instance, then you will not be able to kind of avail your insurance.
No.
I understand. I mean, I've understood the catch, but this is how these policies are sold by trying to propagate that. So it's for the benefit of those people who are listening, that this is how the person who is trying to sell you the policy will try to tell you that if you take a 1:1 and you have one instance, and after that your policy will not protect you for the remaining tenure of yours. So that is not correct, as you said, and you told us that even if you have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 instances, the total sum assured will cover. It's not that 1:1 means that only one case is covered.
Correct.
Okay, now a frank question: what is the least that one should have? The premium is not so bad. You have got 80% reduction, so go for the highest cover. That is what you would recommend.
Absolutely.
5 crores? Because now the consumer courts have gone crazy, and the local guys also have got a higher limit than 10 lakh rupees.
Correct.
So how much is your recommendation?
What is the premium for 5 crores?
It's about 43,000. About 43,000 more.
Yeah.
I mean MOS one. The other ones are pretty high.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
We have tried to pull them down. We had a lot of meetings before we finalized into this, and we have come up with fantastic call. I just we missed the presentation. I'll send you on the personal listing. Definitely, there are lots of plus points in this.
What is the minus point?
The criminal cases are covered. Everything is there.
Jignesh bhai, what is the minus point? If you've given me all the plus, but I want to know my downside.
Till the moment, I mean, last year, absolutely everybody were happy. Frankly, the services are also very good. And of course, no claims were there last year. Fortunately, unfortunately, whatever we say, for us to assess how good they are. But the services are absolutely up to the mark.
No, I'm talking about the lawyer who's going to defend you. Vignesh, what is your opinion?
Sir, okay, I'm here to just give a general advice on this, because this is not our negotiated product. It's the association's negotiated product. However, what I suggest, I mean,
I want a negative comment from you. Tell me what is wrong with this.
So
don't worry, it's fine to criticize. We want.
It is fine to criticize. We'll also rectify. Right?
Yes, exactly.
To actually know the negatives of it, we'll have to actually run through the policy wordings of the particular product.
Don't worry, we'll send it to you.
We'll send it to you.
Sure, sir. And broadly, the deductibles, or the excess as they call it, is about 25,000 rupees, which is not a big amount. All in all, it looks fine. I mean, of course, I mean, do you have options of taking higher than the sum insured as well, or
5 crores is what we have said till now,
okay.
Maximum. People are not taking even 1 crore.
No, that's very important. I mean, people are getting really litigious these days. I mean,
I know, that's why I took this. Sorry, Gaurav.
Mohan takes care of Rajnikant, so he has to do something more than that.
Dr. Jignesh, what is the difference in premium for 1 crore and 5 crores? Like between a 1 crore and a 5 crore policy and on a 1:1 cover, what is the difference in the premium?
It is, I'll just go through the exactly. I don't remember, but it's around 20,000.
Not much, Gaurav. It's worth it. It's worth it, Gaurav.
Also, I have a second question for an institution, for example, Dr. Mohan's hospital, which employs around 10 to 15 or 20 doctors. And since this is open to MOS members, how will he avail of this benefit if he wants to? Because he can only insure himself, whereas nowadays most of us are taking covers for the hospital and not for ourselves individually.
Correct. Can I?
All the individual doctors we are taking, Gaurav.
So that is correct. We also do it for individual doctors, but then the biggest cover we have currently is for the whole hospital, because it covers all our staff as well.
Correct. So, in this case, there's an errors and omissions policy which is covering the hospital establishment. What happens is, as an individual, in your individual capacity, you've taken a professional indemnity cover, but then in your hospital there could be errors that could happen, not just because of your practices or your surgeries, but it could also be because of your helpers, because of your support staff, your nurses, and various other situations. So that's where the errors and omissions policy comes in place. and it's very important for a hospital to have it. I mean, errors and omissions will also ask you to list out the number of doctors who are coming to your place to practice and number of support staff, nurses, etc. that you have, and the past history of your establishment and how this thing been. And it's recommended that if you have a
hospital policy, separate
nursing home or a hospital, you should have a errors and omissions policy for the same.
That's what I wanted to point out. For example, if one of the doctors who works in your hospital and he has an individual cover and you have an individual cover, and most often what happens is when patients sue the doctor, they also make the hospital a party to the case. So it's not just the doctor who will have to defend. The hospital itself also becomes liable for, and the courts can actually, put a bigger, kind of compensation on the hospital than on the individual doctor concerned. So the hospital must take a much bigger cover than what individual doctors are taking, I would think.
It's the vicarious liability it is called as. So definitely hospital cover has to be separate.
What we have done.
Can I ask one thing?
When we appoint doctors, consultants, we make sure that they have a professional indemnity with them. Okay, that is only on the basis of that we give the appointment letter to them. So they need to have a personal cover. There is a professional indemnity. On top of that, as Gaurav rightly said, we also have a hospital cover.
Hospital cover.
Because they are working under, for example, they are working under Rajan Eye Care.
Yes.
So for anything liability, I'll be called to the court, not the particular consultant.
Yes.
He may be the second accused or the thing, but the first accused is Mohan Rajan because it comes under Rajan Eye Care banner. So the hospital has to take. I have taken a larger cover for myself as well as for the hospital, and also for individual doctors. They are pay the premium themselves.
Correct.
Perfect.
That's what we have done. Am I right, sir, Vignesh?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Yeah. Actually, that's what I wanted to point out, that based on vicarious liability, if somebody working under you is sued, then you are also, you also become a party to it, and you also have to attend the court and
the expenses. Correct.
Basically, what happens most of the time, hospitals are sued. They make hospital as first party.
Correct.
Then the constituting doctor.
Absolutely.
So both are sued for that thing. I think both should be covered.
Yes, sir. Fully agree.
So just going a little off topic here. Beyond this, there's also directors and officers cover, wherein in case, let's say you have a professional director or a professional management that is managing this, and there's a notice served to them saying that this is a failure of their management or their failure of decision making, then that's where the directors and officers cover can also help them in an individual capacity.
Okay.
Now, again, I'm not sure if you have any of those management that is separately managing your entire establishment. If you have that, then it is to protect the individual directors and decision makers and key people of their responsibilities and duties.
Vignesh, you're talking about a charitable hospital also? Are they equally responsible, or it's
yes. Sir, at the end of the day,
Vignesh bhai, even if you've done a patient free of charge in a charity, the answerability is the same.
Correct.
Quite right.
So at the end of the day, if somebody faces a loss, they are obviously going to go and fight it out for themselves. So I mean that and they won't unfortunately see whether we've given it for free.
Fine.
All right. So we'll move ahead to our next speaker for the session. Dr. Rajesh Sinha. It's a pleasure for me to introduce him. He's a professor in cornea, cataract, and refractive surgery at All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi. Having done his fellowship from the University of Washington, USA, Dr. Sinha has had multiple publications nationally and internationally. He has authored many books as well. We have him here to educate us about the FBS, that is the Family Benefit Scheme of the All India Ophthalmic Society, its importance and why every ophthalmologist should enroll themselves in it. Over to you, sir.
So he's the Santa Claus of the All India Ophthalmic Society.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Rohan. Thanks, Pooja. And of course, Dr. Arora, Dr. Gaurav, Dr. Himanshu, and the whole team of IRSI for having me here in this wonderful webinar wherein a lot of things I could learn from the first talk regarding professional indemnity. This is something different from professional indemnity, and this is regarding a sort of a term insurance which was started way back in 2004 by these two gentlemen and supported by these gentlemen. And then after that, it has, grown quite a lot from that time. And it was basically aimed for all ratified AIOS members, and they have to pay one-time admission fee for entry, and then yearly contribution is required. And death is covered for all the causes except suicide and homicide. And this is how it has evolved. Initial part, there was a lot of enthusiasm, and in the first 4 or 5 years, it reached up to 2,700, and then after that, there was a sort of a plateau because perhaps awareness was not that much, and then there was a very slow pace. Last year, we had a very high growth. We started increasing awareness programs, the webinars, and then we also started some schemes. And then, in the year 2017-18, there were 98 members that were enrolled in 1 year. In the year 2018-19, 86 members got enrolled. In the year 2019 to 2020, 124. And last year we had 416, actually, it's not 416 members that got enrolled because of increasing awareness and because of a couple of schemes that were launched. And this scheme has grown quite a lot. When it started in the year 2004, the benefit that was given was only 50,000. The benefit was given to the families of deceased FBS member, and it was only 50,000. And it has grown 46 times over the last 15, 16 years. And now it is 23 lakhs that we are giving. And hopefully we are hoping that we may increase it further. Now, at this point of time, till evening today, we had the last membership number of 4353. The current active members are 4068. The expired members are 199. So 199 members have been given the mortality benefit. Total terminated members are 79. Total exit members, I'll come to the exit scheme. And so there are 7, and the death benefit is 23 lakhs. And the yearly contribution currently is rupees 600 per death. So I'll just promotional video that just hold on. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. So this is a promotional video that we have made to inform the AIOS members how to
Dear
become
friends,
a member of FBS.
We all have a responsibility towards our family, and the family benefit scheme of AIOS is a scheme which cares for the family of its members. It's very easy to become a member of FBS. Currently, there is facility for you to become a member online through the FBS website by just a click of the mouse. You just have to keep a few documents ready with you, like AIOS membership certificate, the proof of residence, proof of age, your photograph, your nominee's photograph, your nominee's Aadhaar card, and a medical certificate stating your well-being, and a self-declaration regarding absence of any severe and terminal illness on a notarized paper, which you can get online. You can go to the website, click Member Zone, then click Online Membership Form, fill up the form, upload documents, do the payment, and that's it. It just takes about 10 minutes for you to become an FBS AIOS member and secure your family's future. Thank you.
So this is what is the exact procedure of becoming a FBS AIOS member. So you have to be a ratified Indian AIOS member, and then this proof of AIOS life membership, proof of age, proof of residence, medical certificate, and a self-declaration on a notarized affidavit, and the nominee details. Currently, the upper age limit for joining is 49 years. Now, initially when it was started, even somebody who was 75 years of age had joined. Then we, over the last 3-4 years, we have worked quite a lot with the actuary, and they stated that we have to cut down the upper age limit, because otherwise the health of the society will suffer. The average age is very high, and over the last 4 or 5 years, wherein the upper age has been reduced, the average age has also reduced quite significantly, which was 60 plus initially. It was 60.2 or something. And then now it has reduced down to 54.5. And hopefully in the next 4 or 5 years, we are hoping that the average age will come down to 49, which the actuary has stated as a very healthy average age for running the society. Now, this is the payment that is required. The admission fee for under 30 years was 5,000. Then it was 8,000 for 30 to 35, 20,000 for 35 to 40, 40 to 45 was 30, and 45 to 49 was 40. And then you have to pay 600 per death every year. Depending upon the number of deaths, you have to do the yearly contribution. So we thought that this amount, which is, 20,000 and the 8,000 for young ophthalmologists, many young ophthalmologists, they came to us, they told that this amount is quite high. And there is definite risk of young ophthalmologists also to suffer an accident, and their kids are small, there's uncertainty. I mean, I'm not going to tell that this, God forbid, shouldn't happen, but life is definitely unpredictable. So we have to be prepared for it. And that is why we wanted more and more young individuals to get into it. So first of all, what we did, that we removed that medical certificate thing from the doctor, and only self-declaration required up to 40 years of age. And then after that, we reduced the admission fee. We started the young ophthalmologist scheme, wherein those who were less than 30 years, who were paying 5,000 for admission fee, it was reduced to 2,500. So 50% cut down was done. Those who were paying 8,000, again, it was reduced to 4,000. And those who were paying 20,000 between 35 to 40, it was reduced by 60%. And they started paying 8,000. And there was a good number of, and that is why it resulted in an addition of good number of members last year. We had about close to 190, 195 members joining through this scheme last year. Then again, we thought that it is time. And why I'm telling this thing is that FBS is run by its own members, by AIOS members. So it is a dynamic scheme. And we thought that it is time that we have to help our own members in these tough COVID times, because COVID pandemic had a huge personal and financial impact on all the ophthalmologists, on our healthcare givers, healthcare providers. And that is why FBS AIOS thought, after having multiple meetings, we thought that we have to cut down the admission fee. And if we are cutting down on admission fee, then we have to do it heavily. So we have to do it quite significant. So even on the young ophthalmologist scheme, people who are paying 2,500, now the admission fee has been cut down by more than 80%. Now see, the point is this, that every year, suppose n number of members die, suppose 10 members die, then we have to pay to the family members. So the yearly contribution cannot be cut down significantly. But the admission fee can be cut down in order to support our ophthalmologists in these tough COVID times. And that is what we did. So now for the next 3 months, we have launched this new scheme wherein an AIOS member who is less than 30 years, who had to pay 2,500 in the young ophthalmologist scheme for admission, will just have to pay rupees 499. It is more than 80% cut down. Those who are 30 to 35, and who were paying rupees 4,000, now they have to pay only 799. And those who are paying 8,000 between 35 to 40, they have to pay only 1,599. And between 40 to 45, we thought that it's fine that we are supporting our young colleagues who are less than 40, but even those who are between 40 to 49 who are eligible for FBS AIOS membership, they are also suffering because of COVID. The financial suffering is there. So we worked on that as well. And between 40 to 45 who are paying rupees 30,000 for admission fee, we have cut it down to 5,999. And between 45 to 49, those who are paying 40,000, it has been cut down to 7,999. So it is more than 80% cut down on the admission fee. So it is huge cut down and we have, based on the advice of the actuary, we had to start it as a scheme only. We have started it for 3 months, and whether the finances will support later, we don't know. But at this point of time, definitely we would like to help our members to avail the benefit of this wonderful scheme. And another thing that we have done is that those young members who are becoming AIOS member, they have to pay a substantial amount to become an AIOS member, life member. So we thought that, at the time of admission to the AIOS, if they just pay rupees 299 extra, they will be given FBS membership as well. And they will be kept in the young ophthalmologist scheme. So this is nothing. Actually, you'll just get a couple of burgers for 299 and you are availing the benefit of FBS AIOS scheme. So that is something which we did because we thought that we can cut down on admission fee and we can help our members. That is the way we have to move forward. And this support cannot be forever. This has to be a time bound. So we want the members to avail for the next 3 months. This is an absolutely negligible, nothing, peanuts for becoming a member of FBS AIOS. And I'll just tell you, yesterday we had a meeting, we had a webinar with the Kerala Society for Ophthalmic Surgeons. And we had a young ophthalmologist.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to be on this panel today. So am I audible, sir?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. So I have been an FBS AIOS member since 2015, sir. It has been 6+ years I have been paying my dues. So I joined at the age of 29. And now I'm 35. So the reason why I joined at early age was that I had just completed my post-graduation and I started my family with a kid. And with the long-term fellowship plans for in the future with an unstable income or an unsteady job. So I just gave a thought like, how could I secure my family if something happens to me? So when of course, my husband was doing his part also, his part of responsibility, but I thought what I could do to help him out. Okay. So I came across the scheme of family benefit scheme, which was, I think, was the best schemes in which I could invest in. So the first reason was that it was a very minimal investment, which I could do with the maximum returns. So compared to the other insurance schemes or policies where I had to pay a hefty amount. And the second thing was that it was coming from a very reliable source and an organization. So I was assured that my family would get the benefit from a very reliable organization and which could be a hassle-free procedure as well. So this was the main reason why I joined very early. And I think all the young ophthalmologists should join this at this time. It's a very good offer because when I joined, I had to pay admission fees of 5,000, and now it is like 80% is slashed out. It is just 299. It's a very golden opportunity for all the ophthalmologists, especially the young ophthalmologists. I think they should join this scheme to not only benefit their family, but as well as the other families. And I think they should not wait to grow old to join the scheme.
So this was the opinion of one of our young colleagues, and she told that it is basically being run by our own members, by our own seniors. So I can rely on this scheme. And what happened that, in such meetings, in one of the meetings, I was just showing the FBS AIOS scheme. I had just put one slide. I was presenting something else, but in the end, I just showed one slide that this is a very good scheme and you can join in. And I had just taken over as secretary of FBS. So a couple of members came and they told that my son is in US right now and he doesn't need this money. But do I have to die to give this money to my wife? Can you do something so that I can get something at old age wherein I do require money? Because I feel bad. I feel a little awkward in asking my son for money. So can FBS do something? And then we had multiple discussions and then we came out with this exit scheme. Now, exit scheme there are two types of exit scheme. One is short-term exit scheme and the other one is long-term exit scheme. Now, in a short-term exit scheme, those who are members for 12 years from the date of joining, those who are members for 12 years, they are eligible and they should be more than 65 years of age. There should be a definite valid reason for exiting. In a year, we don't want too much of exodus, so we can allow only 12 members. This is again based on the actuary's advice. And first come, first service, first serve basis will be done. And rupees 4 lakhs will be given to that member. Now I'm telling you, people who have joined FBS since 2004, and if they are paying till now, they haven't paid for more than 1.2 lakhs. Except last year, wherein because of COVID, there were a huge number of deaths and people had to pay, members had to pay 20,000 rupees. Every time it is always less than 10,000, 6,000, 7,000, 5,000, things like that. So the average payment is much less. So again, it is more than 3 times what you have paid for this time. So that is a reasonable amount. And what we do is that we calculate based on the amount that we are asking from members. So each member will pay rupees 100. Now, right now we have 4,068 active members. So we are in a position to pay 4 lakh rupees. If we will have 8,000 members, then we will be in a position to pay 8 lakhs for a short-term benefit. And in a long-term benefit, somebody who is for 20 years, somebody who has joined, like Samyakta joined at the age of 29, and in 20 years, that is at the age of 49, she will be eligible for long-term exit scheme. And believe me, by that time, if we have 8,000 active members and each paying 200 rupees, then she will be getting 16 lakhs as an exit scheme at the age of 49. So that is the big advantage, and no term insurance on this earth provides this exit scheme. Term insurance means that you have to die to get the money. But in FBS, because it's a dynamic scheme run by ourselves, run by our own members, so that is why it provides. So the question is why we should join FBS, because it is a hassle-free joining. In 10 minutes, you can join. Your family is supported. It is run by its own members. It is a society by the members, for the members, of the members. And that is why you just have to pay a small amount yearly, and that is it. And you will be getting, at this point of time, you are getting 23 lakhs. If we have, say, if we double the membership, the amount can get doubled. So that is the thing. It is all collected and given. No amount is kept with the society. That is the beauty of the society, because we all are members. Right now, I am serving the society as the secretary. Maybe a year later, I will not be there. I will just be a member. So and even as secretary, I'm paying the same amount as any other member. So it is by the member, of the member, for the member, and it is run by our own members. And I'm telling you, our staffs and everyone, what we do is that, people just think that I can have some more term insurance, some other term insurance. So we also wanted to compare with other term insurance. So see the amount, somebody who is at the age of 30, the best term insurance, this is the cheapest term insurance that one can get is 7,700 for 25 lakhs. And if you remove the admission fee, if somebody is becoming now and paying just rupees 499 for admission, and the yearly payment of say whatever 6,700, 6,000, 5,000, whatever, then in that case, it cannot be, no term insurance can be cheaper than this. And plus you have the exit scheme as well. And we just wanted to know that, what is the claim settlement? We saw that in every term insurance, the best the claim settlement was 51%. In FBS, it is 100%. And what we do, we approach our members' family. Like last year, one member had died and he had not paid the yearly contribution. So we asked the state representative to contact the members. The state representatives contacted one of these such members' family, and his wife told that he is no more. So then he contacted me. Then I told that, okay, let me talk to her. I spoke to her, and then I told her that you should apply for the claim, because your husband was not a defaulter. He had paid till last year, and this year he died. So you should apply for claim. She applied for claim, and then we gave the claim to her. So nothing like that can happen in any term insurance. So these are some of the wonderful feedbacks that people have given. Like, we are very happy. The family members who have received the money, they are very happy. And you can talk to these family members. They are all very happy. So we just wanted to have we got some mails. So we told that if you're happy, you can send some video clip of yours also. So we created a promotional video for the feedback of the member family. So the first lady is the one whom we contacted, who was not knowing that her husband was FBS member.
Hi, I am Kalpana Chaudhary, wife of Dr. S.S. Chaudhary, FBS number 757. My husband passed away on 5th May 2021. As a nominee, I have received a sum of Rs 23 lakh from FBS family. I really thank and appreciate Honorable Secretary Dr. Rajesh Sinha and the entire FBS AIOS team for their support. I am grateful and thanks you all. Thanks.
Sir Rajesh Sinha, Honorable General Secretary, FBS AIOS. Respected sir, Mr. Anuj Mehra solved my queries very well. I appreciate his way of working. Thanks. Dr. Vijay Bahadur, FBS number 2164.
Good evening, Dr. Rajesh Sinha, Honorable General Secretary, FBS AIOS. I am Dr. N.K. Jain, eye surgeon, retired from Government Hospital, Itarsi, near Bhopal. I am currently living in Noida. My FBS number is 1869 MP0072. I congratulate to Dr. Sinha and his team for their time and efforts in making this scheme a successful. A special thanks to Mr. Anuj Mehra, who answered all the queries patiently.
I'll just skip in order to save time. So there are many such feedbacks that we get. So this gives us pleasure that we are serving our members' family. We try to expedite the payment, although we have to take all the certificates. Like yesterday only, I spoke to one of our eye surgeons in Telangana, and I spoke to him. He told that, can I give the documents to Dr. Sharad Babu in Warangal? I told, okay, give it to him. He will courier it to the office. So we have to do all the office work. And Dr. Mohan Rajan also knows that we have to do office work, but we try to expedite as fast as possible that we can do. And we do direct transfer, bank transfer, so the money goes directly to their account. And just to promote and just to increase the awareness, we have also tried to improve our work in the social media. So we have a FBS AIOS Facebook page, we have a YouTube channel as well. And we have now, we have a Telegram channel in which people do send queries, and immediately the staff has been told that if I miss, you have to see that if somebody has a query, sort it out immediately and respond immediately. So this is something that we are trying to do in order to serve our members. So finally, I would just like to say that this society is your own society. This FBS scheme is run by our own people. You have the ownership of this society. You own this society, and you have every reason to feel secure. So I think this is the best one to join in. And I guess the more the membership, the more benefit that our members will get. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity to provide this information to everyone. And a big thanks to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
I think it's a wonderful talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just one query.
Sir.
We are paying for our death for every person.
Sir.
Maybe in some time, FBS can be self-sustaining. It may have money for interest and other things. Probably it can pay that amount. Do you see the in future? Not now.
Sir, yeah. No. Actually, it doesn't work like that. What happens that for the interest of the members also, because this, whatever mortality benefit we are giving, it is based on mutuality. So we collect and we give, right?
Right.
So no investment in between. If investment comes, then in that case, the society will also have to pay tax, and people who are getting money will also have to pay tax.
Okay.
This is a taxless money wherein we just collect and give. And as far as the collection and the amount, the corpus is concerned regarding FBS, it is not that much that the interest will come that huge amount. Interest mainly helps in supporting. Yes, we do pay the members from the corpus because we don't collect before. We pay the members first and then collect at the end of the financial year. We collect for the number of deaths that we had last year. So we collect later only. So whatever amount that we have in corpus, we pay from that, and then I can collect and put it in the corpus. So we don't have that much interest because the amount doesn't remain for that long. That is one. And number two, the corpus amount is only from the admission fee and not from the yearly contribution. So it is not that high that we will have so much of interest that we will be in a position to pay from that.
Right.
Biggest advantage is that interest part is something which is there. Because of mutuality, neither the beneficiary is going to pay interest, nor the society is going to pay interest. Tax, not interest. Sorry, yes. Tax. Yeah. Mohan,
yeah. Can I say something, Rajesh?
Yes, definitely.
Able to hear me, Rohan?
Yes,
yes, sir.
Yeah. First of all, let me compliment Rajesh Sinha and the entire AOS FBS for the wonderful work they have been doing. Personally, I would say that because last year, Rajesh also knows about it. Before that, for Babu Rajendran also, we worked and got the check. Before that, Samba Sevara was there when Professor Veeraidam passed away in Tamil Nadu, in Chennai. But last year, particularly, Dr. Sridhar Rao, and I was personally in contact with Rajesh Sinha's office, Anuj Mehra. Wonderful work. What a feedback I was getting. It's absolutely, there's no bureaucracy at all and no formalities at all. And it is made very simple, very easy, very effective. And that is what I full credit to Rajesh Sinha's office for this wonderful work they have been doing. And I feel that more and more members should definitely join, and especially when you're given so much of a discount, and new members, younger members should join this, because normally this thing is the belief among the people, the concept among the people is that they don't want to have the insurance because they don't want to think that they're going to die. That is the problem. So if you're going to have this exit plan, like what the LIC is doing, every 5 years they pay a premium on your primary capital or something like that. Every 5 years they pay a good amount. Like that, every 5 years, 10 years, if you can have something like that back, the exit plan is something really wonderful. Rajesh, hats off to you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I have a suggestion, Dr. Rajesh Sinha.
Sir.
In fact, I told you in one of the webinars when we had called you as a speaker, as a faculty, you club this with the AIOS form, the membership form. If it is clubbed with it, immediately they'll be made aware. Instead of you doing it separately, you can club it with the AIOS primary membership. Each member who comes in is directly aware. There is the FBIOS very much there. So right when he is joining, he'll pay this also simultaneously. And one more thing, the way Mohan has suggested, we have something as no claim bonus. So if you can keep something like that, 100 or 200 less of discounting over a period of time, and this thing, more people will keep joining. This is a bit lucrative to look at. Of course, it's a very nominal amount which you can give as discounted. This will also work in increasing the membership, overall membership.
Yeah. So both things. One, that that part of this thing that it should be there in the form. It has been incorporated now in the form. It will be written that whether you would like to become a FBS AIOS member or not, and if the person ticks that, then in that case, that person will be approached that, okay, since you are you have agreed to join FBS member, you have agreed to become a FBS member. So this is the procedure, and please go ahead and do it. So our staff is very much active in that, and they do it. Number one point, as you said that give some bonus. Yes, we are working on it. It all works on numbers, and
absolutely.
At least need 1,500 more members, because we have done all the calculations.
Absolutely.
So 5,500 members, if they are there, or 6,000 members are there, then we will be in a position to say that people who have completed 15 years of membership will get this much of discount. People who have completed 20 years of membership will get this much discount. People who have completed 30 years of membership, they will be completely made free of payment. They will not be paying anything. So all these things are there in the pipeline, and we are working on it. And that is why we want to support our members. That's why the admission fee has been cut down. And we can only work on all these. These all are there in the pipeline. But we need numbers. That is the most important.
Yeah, correct, Rajesh. I think
Rajesh.
all the insurance companies work on the volume.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you ask Vignesh, he will tell you exactly. If you have more, the merrier for them.
Yeah.
Because they'll be able to pay everything. So I think more people should be encouraged and pulled in, and something which you can even make it compulsory also.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to do to the Tamil Nadu Ophthalmic Association now. So I'm shooting a mail now to make them compulsory FBS AOS members.
Yeah. That will be great. We will have a webinar also with Tamil Nadu.
Yes, we'll do that.
Regarding FBS. So that can be done. And we have also worked on a lot of things on these things, like how can we cut down on the amount that one has to pay. So all these things are there. But yes, the number matters. Suppose today somebody is paying 600 per death and there are 10 deaths. So he will pay 6,000 rupees. Now, if the number doubles, and if you then suppose now there are 4,000 members, we have 8,000 members now. Then what we can do is that we can reduce the amount from 600 per death to say 400 per death and increase the benefit from 23 lakhs to 30 lakhs.
30 lakhs.
All these permutation combination can be done to help the members. So that is what we are planning. But what we need is that we have to increase awareness and we need more members.
Great idea.
We'll definitely be approaching.
I think one way, Rajesh, this COVID has been a blessing in disguise in the sense that because people are more aware that something can happen to them after the COVID. This COVID. Yeah. So before that, they were all very cool. Nothing will happen to us and all that. But once the COVID attacked everybody, now everybody wants to take insurance. Okay. I think this should encourage more people to come into the insurance wing.
Yeah.
One more suggestion, Dr. Rajesh, is if you can have the comparative figures that we are charging, so people will immediately jump into your FBIOS. What the other companies have.
Sir, comparative figures are... Yeah. We have actually made... I have a few more slides, but there was paucity of time. I couldn't put those slides. I can show those slides that we do have comparative figures with other term insurance. And, by cutting down the admission fee, now no term insurance can match FBS.
Correct.
And plus the claim settlement rate, the best claim settlement rate has been shown as 51%. Here it is 100%. And we approached the family, like that lady who was so obliged because we approached her that you please apply the claim. So they are our own family, they are our own members.
Yes.
I suggest one more thing. You prepare a flyer of all the benefits that you have done, what your plus points are there, and pass it on. We in our state society will try to showcase it in a big way.
Great. Sure, sure.
Make a flyer. Whatever we said, you are approaching the family members, your 100% this thing is there. So we'll definitely push it in Maharashtra, being one of the largest societies. We'll try and help you on that ground.
Yeah. Sure. Great.
We'll do that in TNY.
Yeah, wonderful.
Just one query.
Thank you.
Yeah, just one query.
Yes.
Is there exit after 75? What is the policy there? 75
There is no upper age limit. There is nothing like that. You are secured, you are insured till your life. So that is another difference between any term insurance from FBS. That, even at the age of 90, Dr. Madan Mohan died at the age of 91. And he was, till that time, he got the claim. He got the benefit. Dr. Rishi got the benefit.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
So that is again a difference between other term insurance and NPS.
Right.
Wonderful.
Amazing, Rajesh.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us about this scheme. So moving on to our next speaker. Our next speaker is Mrs. Chanda Verma. She's a Vice President and Financial Coach at MFA. She has been working closely with the doctor fraternity for the last 7 years. Thus, she has an in-depth understanding of their financial needs. She also understands the finer nuances of the doctor's financial life and helps them in making smart and informed financial decisions. Along with Mr. Vignesh, an insurance expert of the MFA group area here, they are here to help us manage risk with insurance. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. We're so glad to be here, me and Vignesh. Like you've already interacted with Vignesh, so you know what an expert he is. He's a second generation insurance broker actually. And he's been serving more than 1 lakh clients for his insurance needs.
That's huge.
Yeah. As for me, since most of you don't know us as well, let me just share my screen and introduce. Just a second. Just tell me my screen's fine, all right? Can you see the whole screen?
That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yes.
Sounds good. Okay. So we are talking about managing risk with insurance. Dr. Rajesh, you've covered beautifully. And I think what we are going to present is only going to increase the awareness, hopefully, and get more people to be a part of term insurance cover that you guys are propagating. Also, a lot of things that have been shared, I think you will find some kind of resemblance, marriage with what we are going to say. Because, risk as financial planners, risk management is something we deal with day in and day out. We are not even able to talk about investments with our doctor clients till we cover the risk part. So rest assured that this is one of the most important steps that has to be taken when it comes to planning for your money. Your risk has to be covered first. So just like Dr. Pooja introduced, we are India's only firm. We've been working with doctor fraternity for last 16 years. I've been personally involved for last 7 to 8 years. We have more than 3,000 doctors who we've met, and more than 300 doctors are our clients. They are all over India. We also have a special newsletter on various things on financial inclusion for doctors, particularly keeping the language very lucid, very simple, like things on term insurance, on medical insurance, on how planning should be done, at what age, like Dr. pointed out, most of the young doctors think, oh, I don't need anything at this point in time. But, explaining to them how beginning early makes sense for them. We also have a book, Financial Planning for Doctors, which has been published by CNBC. We have sold more than 75,000 copies. Please, guys, if you can grab on it, it's available on Amazon. So please take a look at it. We've also been involved with a lot of associations for financial literacy. We are partners with Indian Orthopedic Association on a regular basis, on a monthly basis. We have been doing sessions with IACON, which is the Conference of Indian Orthopedic Society, Indian Society of Cardiology, VIROC, which is for urologists, UCCON, ASPA, Sion Hospital, Apollo Hospital, we've had talks, and also for the Gynecology Society of India, and now for this Association of Young Ophthalmologists. Now, coming back to our topic. Now, when we talk about risk, risk, when we say risk for common people like all of us, what are the things that come to our mind, right? Uncertainty, loss, or negative outcome. These are the things that come to our mind when we talk about risk. But risk is everywhere, right? Even when you are operating on a patient, or even when we are getting out of the house and crossing or driving to our work, when we are traveling, there is risk everywhere. So the idea is that we are looking at mitigating risks, because we can't escape risk. We all take calculated risks in life, everywhere. Even when we're investing in stocks, we are taking calculated risks. Even when you're operating, you're taking calculated risks. So importance is to mitigate risk. Now, the important point that I and Vignesh are going to talk about is there are many risks out there that we are known, that we are aware of, that are evident. So we know about them and we cover them. But there are many other risks that we are not aware of, and therefore they get missed. The finer points in insurance policies, because insurance policies or insurance companies are not here to dole out money, very honestly, right? Like Dr. Rajesh pointed out, 51% is the insurance claim. So it is very important to understand the nuances, the terms and conditions, so that you do not lose your money, do not lose your peace of mind. And that's why risk cover has to be adequate. And I am going to build on what you people have already covered in terms of indemnity and in terms of term insurance. So the important ones that we are covering today are professional indemnity insurance and errors and omission policy, which we have already covered. And I think Vignesh has already put his points across, so we are not going to spend more time on it. We're going to talk about medical insurance. We are going to talk about life insurance, and we are going to talk about insurance, which not many people are aware of or think it's important. So I think it's something like a term policy, which is just in its initial stages of people discovering it. Similarly, property insurance is also at a very nascent stage. So professional indemnity insurance, take for the max amount available, like Vignesh said, and also look at errors in omission policy. I jump straight, therefore, to life insurance policy. All right. Now, before I talk about life insurance, let me say, I'm sure you guys will agree that life insurance policy is one of the most common, or one of the most important policies we all have. Right? And we don't have just one policy. We might have 2, 3, 4 policies. And we take so many policies. We take endowment policy. These are the names you would have heard. Money back policy, full life policy, Jeevan Anand, Jeevan Shrees. So many names that are there. We've taken many of these policies. And why do we take these policies? Because we are thinking, oh, you know, I will need some amount. And I heard from talks of the other doctors is, I need an exit, right? So after 15, 20 years, I need some amount that will come to me. I need some maturity policy, some consistency. And why I may need that? I just may need that so that my family is protected. My family has some amount, or it may be used for my kids, or it can be a small retirement for me and my wife. Now, the thing is, there's these needs or the causes that we are looking for while taking a life insurance policy are absolutely valid. And trust me, life insurance companies feed off these needs. That it's for security, for us, for our family, for our children. But life insurance is not the right answer to get a corpus at the end. So our needs are valid, but life insurance is not a solution to have a corpus at the end for us. Like one of the doctors pointed out, we don't think we are going to die when we are young. We don't think we are going to die. Nothing is going to happen to us 15, 20 years, COVID hai, nahi hai. But honestly, the thing is that insurance is to be taken as a protection against risk of loss of life. It is not to be taken as an investment product, which is the mistake we all do, which is why term cover comes into the picture, and I'll get back to that. So whenever we take life insurance, never take a life insurance in your mind thinking, I want 23 lakhs at the end of 15 years, or I want X amount of money that I may get as bonus, as maturity, and that will help my child when he's probably traveling abroad for education. Never ever. Those are never the right reasons for taking life insurance. For there are several other products, not for life insurance policy. So when you look at life insurance policy, there are only 2 reasons why life insurance policy should be taken. Like it has been pointed out by doctors earlier, you have a family. That family needs to be taken care of if you die, not when you're living. When you're living, you're taking care of them. But when you die, this family needs to be taken care of. Their living expenses, the money that they may need for the kids' education, for kids' marriage, etc. if you're not around, the money they may need for their retirement, the money they may need for their future. So this is where it's very important that life insurance policy is taken for this reason alone. Secondly, you take life insurance policy if you have an obligation or you're planning to take one. If you're taking a home loan, if you're going to take a loan for buying a clinic space, you're going to take a commercial loan, right? It is very important you take a policy to cover that liability. These are the only 2 reasons life insurance should be taken. For any other reason, there are many other products which are available in the market. Please don't go for life insurance for that. Secondly, when you're looking at life insurance, many options are available for you, right? There are pension, annuity, endowment, money back, like I said, unit link policies, whole life. You would have heard about this, and younger doctors would have heard about it more because these get pitched to you very often. Do not buy these. Big mistake. Do not buy these policies. I'll tell you the reason why with an example. And like Dr. Rajesh said, you need to get only a term life cover for your life insurance. You want to protect your family when you die, term life insurance. You want to ensure your loans that you have taken, term life insurance. No pension policy, no annuity, no unit link policies, only term life cover. Let me tell you the reason why. This is the example that I'm going to give. Now, again, Dr. Rajesh, this has nothing to do with the way your association is working. This is a very general example for people who normally want to take a life insurance policy. Now, the reason why I have given an example of a 45-year-old person with 1 crore is because I go back to my first point. When you take a policy, you take because you have dependents on you. You don't need a term life cover if you are single, you have no dependents, even if you earn or you don't earn, no one is dependent on you, no one is going to live off you. Then you don't need a term life insurance. But you need it when you are married, you have dependents, and you need to take care of the family. So that's why I've taken an example. Let's say you're 45 years of age, 40 to 45 years of age. And if you're looking at a term cover, and I've given a 1 crore term cover, I'll tell you why that also. Because when you are looking at taking care of your family, right, just think about it. Today, the inflation in our economy is at 7-8%. जो मैं आज 100 रुपए में लेती हूँ, कल मेरे को वो 0 rupees में भी नहीं मिलने वाला है. Today, what is the worth of 500 rupees or 1000 rupees? So, if I take anything like 10, 15 lakh policies today or 50 lakh policy today, 15 years down the line, what is going to be the value of 50 lakhs? My family, their education, their retirement, 50 lakhs में तो कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. 4 साल में खत्म हो जाएगा 50 lakhs. Right? So the idea is, and I'm going to take this point also later, the term cover, you should aim, like the association is trying, you should aim to make your term cover higher and higher. Now, suppose you are looking for 1 crore term cover, which is reasonable for a person who's 45 years of age, because he will have family, he might have kids, he might have home loans, etc. And he also has a longer age of retirement left to cover. So let's say 1 crore and a duration of the policy he takes for 20 years, assuming he's going to work till 60, 65 years of age. Doctors have no retirement age. The premium of any policy right now available in the market, and which is normally going to be pitched to you, will be anywhere between 5 to 6 lakhs per annum. If you look at a term insurance policy, for the same cover, for the same duration, your premium will not be more than 35 to 40,000 rupees. Now that difference in premium is huge. And that is why the association is also telling you that term life cover is the ideal life insurance cover. Now the nuances can be worked out later, but what is important is awareness that you don't have to run behind any other term policy. Anyone comes and tells you, take this child plan, take this X plan, take cover, this is your retirement, this is a pension plan, say no and just go for term life cover. You get a high cover at a very, very low premium. This is called a vanilla product, and that is why it's better. It does not give big commissions to the insurance brokers, and that's why people don't very easily talk about it. So do not look at returns or maturity amount, honestly, when you look at a term life cover, because this policy is to be taken for your family when you die. Returns don't matter here. Maturity amount does not matter here. The cover is important. What is the cover that you're taking? And I'll also tell you why you have to look at term life insurance as how is a car insurance, right? All of you have car insurances. What do? You pay a premium. If anything happens to your car, you claim the insurance. If nothing happens to your car, we don't go back to insurance company saying, "Meko mera paisa do." Correct? But when it comes to life insurance, we do that. We have stayed, we have not died, so please give us money back. ऐसे नहीं होता है. That your life is more precious than the car, right? And therefore, when you take that insurance for the risk to your car, you're taking this insurance for the risk to your life. Therefore, this policy does not give any returns as such, because it's charging very low for a very high cover. And that is why returns is not a parameter when you look at a term life cover. Now, the other important thing over here is, and I'll also give you an example soon enough. When you look at life insurance, most of the time I've seen, we typically, and I have dealt with so many doctors. Now I have almost 300 doctors, and each of them I have spoken about term life cover. Now, whenever I ask them, okay, what is the insurance amount that you're looking for, or how much you have, they've always plucked a figure out of nowhere. I mean, it's something, a figure that they're comfortable with. They've taken a policy, 50 lakh ka policy, 25 lakh ka policy, 15 lakh ka policy, 75 lakh ka policy. This will give me bonus, etc., etc. Okay, so Insurance amount is just plucked out of an air. Now, the thing is, in life insurance, like doctors know, there is not one medicine for a patient. Different patients will have different types of ailments, so different medicines will be applicable to them. So one size doesn't fit all. There are calculators available, doctors. With those calculators, they are able to find out what is the actual insurance amount you need. Now that takes in, these calculators take into account what is your income. They take into account what will your expenses be in case anything happens to you for your family, and what your expenses will be. They go into details such as, oh, you have a wife who's dependent on you who doesn't work, or you have a wife who's working. You have kids who are small and dependent. You have kids who have become independent. Then you have a wife who's retired. So they divide your life stage into different stages and figure out, okay, honestly, what is the need that you have? They add your obligations if you have. They also find out, okay, what is the life insurance you already have? So then they deduct the amount. By doing those calculations, the insurance agent can actually tell you what is the life insurance amount you need. This step gets totally missed. The talk directly comes to, ये plan है, ये इतना return मिलेगा, आपका पैसा double हो जाएगा, ये अच्छा insurance plan है, and premium बस इतना ही है. That is not how you should decide an insurance amount. You have to do calculations. Maybe the calculations show you need 3 crores. You may not have the money for 3 crores. Don't take 3 crores. Do it step by step, but at least know what is the insurance amount you need, because your family needs to be taken care of. A typical thumb rule that I always tell my clients is, you should have a term life cover which is at least 10 times your current income. That is the amount that you should definitely have as a cover. Your insurance premium is going to be very low, like I pointed out. And all your life insurance policies, the term life insurance policies, should be registered under Married Women's Property Act. MWP Act it's called. Now, why this is important is, typically what happens if something happens to you and you have obligations or you have creditors, the first thing that happens is the insurance policy amount goes into paying those people off rather than for your family. But under Married Women's Property Act, the nominee or the person who is proposed in the policy, the person who is the beneficiary in the policy, he can decide, she can decide who this money should go to. Should this money go to the creditors or not? So this is kind of a security for the person who receives the money after you die. So an MWP Act is a very important act which should be tick marked if you're married, and the person who is going to be there is going to be your wife. So these are very important points. I want to give you an example over here, and I'm sure it's going to resonate with some of you. Sorry, this is a very important topic, so I'm taking a little longer on this. I had a doctor, a very close doctor, a very, very popular doctor in Mumbai. He was very close to about, 55, 60 years of age. And he had his own setup. He had his own hospital, a 25-bedded hospital in Mumbai in the posh suburbs. Now, when I met him and I checked about his insurance and said, how much insurance do you have? And he said, oh, I have a life cover of 3 crores. And I think it's reasonable, isn't it? On the face of it, 3 crores looks really reasonable. When I dug deeper and asked him more and more questions, I found out his 3 crores was divided into 27 different policies. And these policies had been sold to him by his patients, by some insurance agents. You know, last time, sir, le lo, isme, tax-free hai, etc., etc. And these insurance policies were sold to him. The premium on his 3 crore, 27 policies that he was paying was 26 lakhs rupees a year. Mind you, a 55-year-old, very experienced, very dynamic doctor. Then I realized that he also, and he had plans to have another hospital open, another clinic open, etc. So he was in an expansion stage and he had a loan of 10 CR. I simply asked him, doctor, if anything happens to you, this 3 CR is going to cover up the loan and also take care of your family? And that time he had a big question on his head. He said, I'm sorry, but I never was given that thought. I was never asked that question. I never thought about it that way. I didn't know this policy was supposed to cover my loan as well. And that's when we actually removed all the unnecessary policies. We took 3 different policies, 5 crore, 5 crore, 5 crore. We took a 15 crore term cover for him. You know how much the premium was? 4 lakh rupees annually. For 3 crore, he was paying 26 lakh rupees annually. For 15 crore, he was paying 4 lakh rupees annually. Look at the difference in the premium. Look at the difference in the cover. With this, he got peace of mind that if anything happens to him, the loan is taken care of. 10 crores will be taken care of. He had the peace of mind that the 5 crores will be okay for his family. He had a family with very few dependents, only his wife. Other kids were all well settled, etc. One was abroad, etc. So this is why it is very important to calculate how much you need, find out what is the right policy amount for you, till what age you should take, what is the premium that you're paying. Do not go for unnecessary policies. So, and register your policy under Married Women Protect Act. Because what happened with this doctor was within 2 years of taking this policy, somewhere, I don't know where we had the premonition and we got this done. Somewhere after taking this policy in 2 years, he had a massive heart attack and he passed away. And this 15 crore has helped his family today. They are secure. There's not been a problem. The hospital is running, it's doing okay, and it's doing well. So it's very important why you should take term cover and life insurance very, very seriously. I move ahead. Now we go on to medical insurance. Vignesh, you want to add on medical insurance over here?
Sure, thanks. Thanks, Chanda. So medical insurance is basically the health insurance that we all know, the Mediclaim that it's commonly known as. And I'm not going to run you through the details of it, but just a basic walkthrough of what it is, because each of these subjects are a 3-hour session by themselves. But yeah, so it is one to cover the hospital costs. When I say hospital costs, it includes the pre-hospital, as in before getting admitted in the hospital, all the checkups that you do, the reports, the medicines that you have, all of those things get covered for. In the hospital, all your room rent, ICU, your medical cost tests, everything gets covered for. Doctor's fee, operation data charges, blood, everything gets covered for. And post-discharge, again, the similar doctor's visits, the repeat visits, the medicines, the tests that you do, all of these things get covered for. So all the medical costs, pre and post, obviously there's some time limits for these, get covered for in the health insurance. And yes, one thing is very important in this is that there has to be an inpatient hospitalization, and that too for a minimum of 24 hours. Unless it's a daycare procedure like a cataract or something, or a chemotherapy, even in that, you need inpatient admission. That means you need a discharge card at the end of the discharge from the hospital. That's how you define an inpatient hospitalization. Now, basically, any hospitalization for any illness, ailment, treatment gets covered for, as long as there's a proper line of treatment. There cannot be just a diagnostic test for which one gets admitted inpatient, even if it is inpatient, will not be covered for. So since everything is covered for, let's see what is not covered. So there are some exclusions or something that are not covered. So there is there's something like permanent exclusions and something like a waiting period. So permanent exclusions are never covered in the entire policy period. Something like cosmetic surgeries, like looks enhancing surgeries, like LASIK treatments when your chashma ka number is less than 6 or 7.5 for most insurance companies. That is because beyond that it becomes unnecessary, right? Or even cosmetic plastic surgeries, like we call it, or even vitamin treatments or general weight treatments and everything are permanently excluded. Dental is permanently excluded in the policy. You'll never get in any of the insurance companies. Then there are waiting periods. For example, if let's say one takes an insurance for the first time, for the first 30 days, kuch nahi milta, nothing, except for accidental injuries. Thereafter, there are waiting periods for 2 years, which are prolongable illnesses, like anything that the doctor says, look, you have this health situation, and let's decide when you want to get this treated over the coming few days or weeks, are all prolongable illnesses, not emergency, like your sinuses, cysts, hernia, piles, cataract, etc. are all prolongable illnesses for which there is a 2-year waiting period. And then there are something known as pre-existing illnesses, which are illnesses that one is suffering from at the time of proposing for insurance. Now, they will have a 3 or 4 year waiting period depending upon the insurance company. Now, these waiting periods are across all the insurance companies, and it is very important for us to know these things before getting into an insurance program. and one should always read through the policy wordings before getting into the insurance cover. Now comes to one of the most frequently asked questions is how much cover do we need in health insurance? Because कुछ ना कुछ तो cover होता ही है, and most of us might be having one of the PSU companies insurances for a relatively smaller amount, like 3, 4, 5 lakh rupees kind of thing. So obviously there's no fixed answer to what is the amount of insurance cover we need. It depends on the city that we live in, because it's a big factor. Like Bombay is a lot more expensive than maybe a Chennai or maybe Kolkata or some other cities, right? Even Delhi for that matter. So firstly, the cover that we choose has to be with a horizon of at least a decade or two in mind. So in the next 10 to 15 years, 20 years, what are the medical costs going to be? Is how we should plan today's health insurance cover. While saying that, we should also see the insurance premium that we're going to pay, because claim aaya to aaya, lekin aaj to we have to pay the premium every year, irrespective of what the claims are. So yeah, I mean, it's ideally a balance of these two, but then preferably should not be less than 15 lakh rupees of cover for sure. And ideally, anything upwards of 50 lakhs rupees is kind of going over the top. But up to 50 lakh rupees is something, 15 to 50 lakh rupees is my sweet spot. I think we should, depending upon what is our preference in terms of coverage, company, etc., we should look into those kind of covers.
Depending upon the age, right?
Age, but irrespective of age, right? So the younger person should ideally be taking a little longer horizon and a bigger cover, and maybe a senior person could maybe manage to contain the sum insured to a fairly
because we meet a lot of doctors, and when we look at the medical insurance, typically they have, it's about 10 lakh. Even the senior ones I'm talking about would have about.
That's more because most of the insurance companies until the last decade were having 5 to 10 lakh rupees of cover.
Correct. And then they try to top it up.
They're continuing with it.
Yeah, or they top it up, another 5 lakh or something like that.
Correct.
But by the time, we always tell them that 25 lakh for minimum hona chahiye, and going up to 50. Considering medical costs here, because in COVID itself, we've seen that if you one month also, if you're in ICU, your charges are close to 10-15 lakhs in a hospital, like, one of the bigger hospitals in Bombay. So you definitely.
COVID has been an eye-opener, but even the surgeries, I'm sure most of our doctor colleagues over here would be knowing the surgery costs have gone over the roof over the last 3-4 years already. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, I think anything above 15 lakh rupees minimum. I mean, I'm saying that's the bare minimum. I mean, should not even look at anything below that, but anything above that, I think we are kind of being okay. So ideally 25 to 50 is what you should, if the premium permits, you should be looking at. So some of the key points of what we should look at in a health insurance cover is obviously one, compare the benefits, the core benefits, and the exclusions, what is not covered. So in insurance, सबसे important चीज ये होता है to know what is not covered. What is covered is something everybody blows a trumpet on. So what is not covered, what has a waiting period. Now, while I said that there are certain illnesses which have a 2-year waiting period and 3-year waiting period and so on, insurance companies can, so that's a standard. Insurance companies could have some more waiting periods, some more cappings over and above that as well. So it's very important to know what is not covered and what is covered. And what is the premium? And when I say premium, it's not today's premium. It's about the trajectory of premium. So every few years, the health insurance premium goes up. So usually for most companies, it's 5 years. Every 5 years, the premium jumps. So what are those jumps like? So what is the trajectory? 41 to 45, 46 to 50. So how is it jump? Some insurance companies may be quoting very aggressive for the younger people to come in, but then eventually after 55, 60, the jump is so erratic and so big. So you should be prepared for it. So looking at the trajectory of the premium is a very important thing. I think most people are not even doing that. Then comes the most important aspects like cappings in illnesses and room rent. Room rent restriction, agar policy mein hai, to then I feel sooner or later you're going to be, the policy is going to get redundant for you. Because, I mean, if let's say the policy allows you to for a 5,000 rupee per day room, which is 1% of 5 lakhs. Today, already in Bombay, there's no single room available for 5 lakh rupees, 5,000 rupees a day. And going further, things are going to get more and more expensive, even in the other parts of the country and so on. So room rent restriction is a strict no-no, absolutely. Cappings on illnesses is also a big hole in your coverage, because one may think that, look, I have a 10 lakh cover, but then if there's a capping of 50,000 rupees on a particular illness or a 3 lakh rupees for a critical illness, then you're really not covered for the entire 10 lakh rupees. So yeah, it's important. Then comes a not so important aspect, which is whether it's in-house claim settlement or a third-party administrator. Third-party administrator is basically an outsourced party that, of the insurance company that looks after settlement of the claim, the documentary part and the settlement of the claim, while the insurance company only disburses the amount. Now, isme kya hota hai? Sometimes the third party does not have access to the insurance company systems and everything, so they expect the client to give them pichla policy, the previous policies, the last give us the last 3 years, 5 years policies, and so on. And that kind of delays the matter a little bit. So as far as possible, if there's an in-house team, they have access to the entire systems of the insurance company. So it seems to be relatively more seamless. A focus on the core benefit of the product and not the frills, because insurance companies more often than less tend to blow their own trumpet by increasing a huge list of features and make their brochures colorful, but that's not really resulting in you getting more money from the insurance cover, right? So there are a lot of covers like recovery benefit, hospital cash, maternity. These are frills. I mean, cumulative bonus at 100%, har saal 100% se badega. These are actually frill covers. I mean, the core benefit is, if I get admitted, what am I going to get out of it? So yeah, I mean, these are the important aspects of health insurance. And the next thing. And then comes property insurance. Now, property insurance is something like what Chanda pointed out. We're really not taking it much. I mean, we're really not taking it very seriously. Or literally 0.1% of our houses are insured. Most of these, so most of the property insurance happens on the corporate side or the business side, where they have to insure their stocks or the buildings because the bank is insisting upon it. On an individual retail front, very, very few people are really doing it, but it's very important because you see, it covers you against fire, natural calamities like floods, cyclones, earthquakes. Earthquakes are shayad nahi bhi ho, lekin literally every year we're seeing 2 or 3 cyclones these days, no? And these are adverse events. I mean, these are things that if it happens, they cause adverse damage, and severity is very, very high. Frequency is low, but then severity is high. So it, God forbid, should it happen, right? And basically, if you look at it this way, the premiums are not very high, but then because people think ये शायद नहीं होगा, ये हमारे इसमें थोड़ी होगा, people don't really look at even considering these covers. But important because today a house that we live in, or our clinics or our office or anything that we own, are the most prized possessions that we have, and we kept them uninsured while insuring our cars and other things, right? So it's important to insure it. So what can be insured in property? Property is your buildings, residences, clinics, hospitals, machines, anything that you can touch and feel can be insured. So a few things to keep in mind. You can take the building structure separately and even a long-term cover if you want to, and take the contents cover separately. But you can't choose ki I will cover only this particular content or this particular sofa, this particular equipment of mine. If you're covering, cover all of it or none of it at all. So ensure to cover everything. And while at it, the sum insured, the value you take for insurance is the most important thing in property insurance. So it should ideally represent today's cost of remaking the entire thing or repurchasing that same item. So if I have this particular phone, what are the cost of purchasing this phone today is the cost I should insure it for in property insurance, especially in fire insurance. Because if you don't do that, something known as a dreadful thing known as underinsurance applies. What happens is, let's say you have a property for 1 crore and you've covered it for 50 lakh rupees. It's not that I've covered it for 50 lakh rupees. That means up to 50 lakh rupees, jo bhi hoga, mujhe paisa milega. even if there's a 10 lakh rupee loss, the insurance company will pay 5 lakh rupees on it because they've assumed that we have self-insured 50 lakh rupees. That means every loss gets shared in the same proportion. So if I've underinsured it for 50%, every rupee of loss, I get 50% of it only. So sum insured is the most important aspect when it comes to property insurance. One should also consider taking a burglary and theft because they come in at a marginal insurance premium over the fire insurance. We get package policies these days which cover fire, burglary, and a few other package add-on covers like electronics as well. So should look at it. Now, I think we've bored you enough with a lot of insurance content. So I think we can do an FAQ round. I mean, if you have any queries, questions on insurance, we will try and answer you. Or if we are running short of time, then you could even write to us and we'll get in touch with you, whatever's convenient, whatever works for you.
You spoke about not taking a pension policy for someone as young as say 30, 32, wherein you know for the next 15 years, I mean, or you assume for the next 15 years that your income is going to grow. Why is not taking a pension policy a good idea?
I'll address that.
At an early age.
Yeah, I'll address
if you've already taken a term insurance, if the term insurance has already been taken.
So pension, so when you're looking at taking a pension policy, what is the thought in your mind? What you're looking at is I should have some purpose at the end of say 20 years from now when I'm 60, 65, right? You are trying to get some security for yourself. That is the purpose, right? Now for that purpose, now you are trying to figure out, so what should I do? So you think pension policy. Not bad. I'm not bad-mouthing any policy, but I'm saying it is a very low, what do you call it? Low, not a very resourceful way of planning for your pension. You're looking for pension amount. In pension policy, what happens? It can be of two types. It can be a traditional pension policy. Remember that? Or it can be a ULIP pension policy. Okay. In any of these cases, the premium that you'll pay will be much higher than the cover that you'll get. And you are planning now for next 20 years where inflation is not taken into account in such policies. Okay. So currently, I think the pension rate is around 5 to 6%, which is the inflation rate. Okay. So if they are promising you, say, a pension of 50,000 at the age of 60, 65, you're today 32 or whatever. What is 50 or 65 going to do for you? Because they have not accounted for inflation. The pension policies don't account. So 50, 55 ka value when you're 60 would be 10,000 rupees. Right? So it doesn't make sense to buy those policies. Whether you're young or old is not the question. Yeah, Dr. Rohan? The idea is if you want to plan for pension, there are other ways for planning for it. Pension policy is the lowest resourceful way. The second reason is that in pension policies, what happens is the money that is invested, it's like a blanket. You don't know anything what is happening to the money for the next 15, 20 years. It's like fill it, shut it, forget it. आप हर साल जाके पूछते नहीं हो, अच्छा मैंने इतना पैसा डाला था, क्या हुआ? मार्केट में आपने डाला, मार्केट ऊपर गया, नीचे गया, क्या हुआ उस पैसे का? Right? So there is very low transparency on how your money is being managed. And because of that, we have seen that these policies typically give very low returns. If they are traditional policies, they don't give more than 4 or 5% return. If there are some good ULIP policies who still invest a good chunk in equity market, which a lot of policies don't, I personally have seen examples of doctors who say, "Arey, meko zyada risk nahi lena hai," so their money has been lying in liquid kind of funds which give 3% returns. So, so there is no way of handling it really very professionally, which is why these policies are avoidable. All right. If you want to plan for your pension, you have other investments to take care of it. It could be mutual funds, stocks, whatever it is. There's a way to plan for it. Pension policy is the lowest, I would say. I mean, koi option nahi hai to pension policy.
SIP in stocks or mutual fund is your pension.
Correct. Absolutely.
The policies hardly covers inflation. Even the rates are even lower than that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So in fact, your money get depreciation.
Absolutely. क्या होता है ना इसमें डॉक्टर, VC 50 लाख मिल रहा है 20 साल के बाद, बट वो 50 लाख का वैल्यू हैज gone down, वो no one sees because you only see the money. You're trained to see the money.
None of those policies will give you more than 4 to 6% return.
Yeah.
What at the end of the day, you will not get more than 4 to 6%.
4 to 6% return.
So, I wanted to chip in here. I completely agree about the term insurance thing, and I moved that way like 5 years back. In addition, what somebody can do is you can take a Keyman policy as well to add to that, because suppose you have hospital loans to pay for, and rather than pay the premiums yourself, you can actually pass on as a cost to your company and take a Keyman policy of a similar amount. For example, if you took 5 crores of personal cover, term insurance, you take another 5 crores of a Keyman policy.
Yeah.
Later on, you can actually assign it to yourself in a few years, right?
Yes.
So I think that would be one other thing for somebody to do who's working in a high risk, where you're taking loans for the organization, not for a personal thing. Plus, it passes on the cost as an expense to the company, which is much better than paying for the premium yourself, because it doesn't.
So you're taking loan in the name of your private limited or whatever system that you.
Right. So I think that's another thing which I thought. One question I had was about the medical insurance, and I wanted to understand that when you take medical insurance for yourself, you said that it could be like 40-50 lakh kind of a cover, but we did not cover what currently almost most companies are doing is those family floater things rather than individual policies and few other things, and how to kind of get out of the exclusions. One big question for you: which policy pays for cataract surgery properly? We all have this problem that as doctors, there are caps on. So I would love to know which insurer, like if you were suggesting a policy for me, and if I had a cataract and I want a femto-assisted cataract surgery from Dr. Himanshu, and I want to pay 1.5-2 lakhs for that, which policy will cover it?
Okay. So a couple of things. I mean, talking about cataract, straight off, if you there are a lot of companies that don't have a capping per se for cataract, but then they cut this cost in the name of reasonability clause, which is absolutely wrong in my opinion, because there's nothing like reasonability, because you're using the particular different kind of lens, and there's a doctor and their skill, a lot of things go into play, and it's not standardized, right? I mean, there's nothing standard. So yes, I mean, there are a couple of products in the market that don't actually cap the cataract cover. A couple of them from Bajaj and a couple of other companies. But most policies, they cut either expressly or through reasonability clauses and everything, which can eventually be fought out right to them, right to the grievance, and right to the ombudsman, and so on. That's the recourse when there's a deduction if there is no express capping for cataract in the insurance policy. They can't reduce a cover just because they are saying it's not fair.
And some policies I've noticed, some patients come in with a asking for smile, and suppose it's costing like 1.25 lakhs, and it's basically for correction of refractive error, and most policies, 99% policies would not cover it, but some policies do. And surprisingly, I have some patients who will come in and say, okay, my policy will cover it, why don't you try sending out an authorization request? And it does. So what is the secret? Like,
so it's written in the policy wordings as well. So see, anything that's a necessity is covered. Anything that's a cosmetic upgrade is not covered. So somebody who's got a number of 3 or 2 or 4 or whatever, it's seen as a cosmetic upgrade and not as much as a necessity. So that's why insurance companies don't cover it. But anything about 8, 9, then it's near blindness situation. There, insurance companies pay for it and cover it. In fact, now it's even written in most of the policy wordings that I can think of, where some say 8, some say 7.5. But when your number goes beyond that, the insurance company pays for it.
Chanda, what is your power? If you remove your glasses, are you near blind or not?
No, my power is 4.25.
So are you near blind or not? Without glasses?
No, I don't think so.
No, without glasses. Without glasses. What I'm saying.
Without glasses, I wouldn't be able to.
So that is the wrong decision. What Vignesh just said, that a -8 and 9 is almost blind. No. Anybody around that power, 2, 3, 4, 4, also needs glasses. So that's a wrong definition everybody has continued with. And Gaurav, the money which is there are certain companies like Bajaj gives full money for your Lensex, for your best multifocal. There is not an issue about it at all. Except most patients like to economize and they take the minimum policy with minimum money and they want the maximum out of it. They pay for a rickshaw and they want the Rolls Royce in the bargain.
So even in Bajaj, the Bajaj Healthcare Supreme pays for it. The other one has a capping of 1 lakh rupees. So, I mean, I'm just getting into the nitty-gritties, but
it all boils down to how much premium I'm paying. If I'm ready to pay a good premium, I am allowed to go to the best super deluxe room and use the best facilities.
Sir, but most importantly, I feel if the insurance company is not expressly capping it, then they have no business to cut the claim as well.
Correct.
This is what I believe in. And in a lot of cases, we have put up to the ombudsman and so on, and we've got the entire amount as well. And in some cases, the differential is a very small amount. Then the mehnat is not worth of going to the ombudsman and doing the entire thing. But
so we don't have to go to the ombudsman. The patient has no patience or the will to do. So they want to cut doctor's money and blame the doctor that you're not giving me all the documents. Basically, they have to fight it out. And if we support with the right documents, there is nothing wrong. The ombudsman, without any problem, 15 years ago also, for a restored multifocal, got the money for the patients.
Correct.
So what?
Correct.
Yes.
Vignesh, I had a quick question. And, actually I have two questions, but I'll have a first one. For somebody who's in a group insurance, like a corporate group insurance, for example, I'll tell you for myself, I was through Citibank credit card, almost 25 years I've had a policy. Now this year when it came up for renewal, I wanted to exit and, port it to another provider, maybe like an ICICI Lombard or whatever. Now I was not allowed to port and I kept trying, for almost like 15 days and, spoke to several of the insurers and it didn't work. So how does one, get out of this? Is there a quick answer to this?
So group policies are usually temporary in nature. And in my opinion, if you already have a group policy, that's fine. But one should always have their own individual covers because that's in your control. See, the group policy will function the way the group as a portfolio is functioning. See, insurance is about spread of risk. And if there are a lot of adverse risks that come in and the claims start piling up, the group terms, the coverages will go down or the premiums will go up, things will go haywire. Ideal scenario is if there's a group policy, that's fine. Let's maintain it for whatever it's worth. But it is always important to have your own individual retail cover, which is there with you for lifelong. So it's very clear in the country that no insurance company can deny a insurance cover because of age. So one should have, it's always better to have your own group, individual.
No, I completely understand what you're saying. I'm just asking, can you port from a group policy to a standalone policy?
Depends on the terms of the policy. So ideally, if you're in a group policy, then you can port out from the group policy to the individual policy of the same insurance company, and then from there to any other insurance company. So it's not like you can just port it from a New India Assurance Citibank cover to an ICICI Lombard directly.
Second quick question is that I have a hospital with about 100 plus employees, and I was trying to buy policies. Like a group policy for all my staff. Okay. And we kept approaching various people, and I saw their tariff cards like Star Health and others, and those those covers were not too expensive. But when it actually came down to trying to insure all my stuff, it wouldn't eventually work out because the premiums were very high and they were less competitive than individual policies. So it didn't make sense because you're taking a group policy where you're bringing 100 customers in, and yet your premium remains almost the same as what an individual policy would. So there was no benefit, and eventually, I've still not found a good insurer to kind of insure as a kind of a luxury for all my staff, because COVID times I thought I should do this as a benefit for my staff rather than anything else. So what do you suggest for that?
Sir, okay, so I'm letting in a bit of a secret. Okay, what happens is insurance companies really get scared of doing group health for hospitals. They get very scared of doing group health for hospitals.
I know, this is what I was told, that they don't cover hospitals at all.
Yeah. So what they feel is that hospital khud ka to hospital hai, kuch bhi ho sakta hai, whereas the same thing, if it had been any other corporate, we would have been able to find a group health cover at a much lower cost and get that through. But that said, there's no giving up. I mean, eventually, obviously, with certain checks and balances, I'm sure things can solution can be found for this. So one really needs to kind of go a little more granular on the coverages and basically ensure that to convince the insurance company that, look, we're not here to make a wrong claim and make profit out of it, but it's purely a necessity like it is for any other corporate. It's going to be difficult, but yeah, it's a lot more effort.
I'll reach out to you on this. And one last question, which probably impacts all of us here, is medical equipment breakdown policies. So like we have lots of equipments. So like I have a fire and theft big policy for my hospital, and we have CMCs and AMCs for many equipment, but there are others companies which don't do CMCs and AMCs. And I would like to, probably cover my risks and have at least, 5-10 equipments, maybe worth about 1.5 crores, which I would like to take a breakdown policy. And again, I have not been successful.
Can I just introduce one more gentleman who has joined our group? Mr. Kamal Barot is a very popular gentleman. He is there, a very dear friend, and he has done a lot of insurance work in the city and for Mukesh Patel and the Auto Riders Group and a lot of big people. He understands. So we would value your answers also. He knows his job very well. And he's been able to, for Lilavati Consultants and for the others, he's been given us a great support. So please chip in your ideas, Kamalji. Thank you for sparing your time.
Nice of you, Doctor. Good evening. Good evening, all. If you don't mind, I would like to answer Dr. Rohan's all three questions in detail.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Rohanji, group medical claim policy is a tailor-made policy. It cannot be compared. Any policy which can be compared apple to apple, or a group policy having a clause that whenever the member wants to get an exit, he will be allowed to take continuity in the same policy. Unfortunately, Citibank, having oldest insurance and tie-up with New India itself is not ready to give you continuity. Unfortunately, this individual insurances are being converted into groups like Doctors Association, Chartered Accountant Association, Jain Community, Garware Club, Juhu Club. So people think that this insurance will run for me, but people don't know that it works on the claim settlement ratio. Next year premium is not assured. Unfortunately, the Lilavati insurance also got closed. Your question of group policy not offered to doctors, I would not like to name, but people know, so I am telling. Lilavati had a policy for all their employees. It went for increasing by 30% every year, and the time came, the proposal became inviable and they had to discontinue the insurance. Today in the market, nobody is ready to give the insurance to the group, because everybody brings in their parents from rural area, operates for knee replacement and cataract, and you can understand what kind of claim arises. So unless the group policy having a clause that yes, at the time of exit, you will be allowed. This is happening in the case of Tata employees, Siemens employees, where employer has negotiated this term in the policy that at the time of retirement, the employee is not lingering around to find another insurance at that age. He would be given a continuity. So this is one of the reasons that you are not getting the portability. And at the same time, as my friend Mr. Vignesh said, that it is always advisable to have an individual policy, because group policy either for discontinuation due to high ratio of claim or high premium of demand on the subsequent year gets discontinued. So please don't depend on it. Actually, you should have your own policy at all point of time. And coming to the question of cataract limitation, very important. Everybody is getting cheated by the insurance company because unilaterally company, largest insurance company in Asia, हम लोग accept कर लेते हैं, हमारे यहाँ resist करना होता ही नहीं है. New India Assurance, having the largest general insurance company in Asia, had introduced two conditions in 2007, which was never responded by anybody negatively. One, room rent capping, which was the biggest X. And those people who are above 45, having diabetes, blood pressure, cannot increase that insurance. And then they ultimately had to bow down the things that it is better not to have this insurance at this premium. 2 lakh rupees ka insurance agar mujhe 11% pe padta hai, so it is better that I go to charity. I will not continue this insurance. They reduced the cataract amount to 24,000. Which doctor in Mumbai reasonably well doing 24,000 rupees expense in? So whenever you select a health insurance, two things you have to be very careful, that there should not be any capping, not only on cataract, but nowadays this experimental surgery. You must have known everybody, 80% of the COVID patient had to go for that cocktail therapy, which was not covered, which is subsequently covered. Even now I am fighting because cocktail therapy do not require stay more than 24 hours. It is taken as daycare, whereas insurance companies are stating, no, 24 hours se zyada hoga to denge. Two things. First of all, whichever intermediary through whom you buy the insurance, he should know his subject fully well, because if you have to do, and in online, it never happens. So the cataract limit should not be there. And my friend said, if the limit is not there, they will deduct it under unreasonability clause. Sir, reasonable and customary clause सारी insurance company की policy में है, लेकिन वो एक किसी भी तरह से पैसे काटने का तरीका है. I have fought 17 cases, and all 17 I won. I would like to explain, 2 minutes, I'll take more. What is this reasonability clause? दादर स्टेशन के बाहर बैठा हुआ आलू बेचने वाला 25 रुपए किलो एक बेचता है, दूसरा भी 25 रुपए किलो बेचता है. तो वहां पे अगर उसने 23 लिया तो बोला जा सकता है कि बाजू वाला तो 23 लेता है, तू क्यों 25 ले रहा है. एक ही मेंशन में बैठने वाले 2 कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट, दोनों की प्रैक्टिस सेम है, लेकिन अगर एक एंजियोप्लास्टी का 40 लेता है और दूसरा 25 लेता है, तो इंश्योरेंस कंपनी बोलती है कि आपके ही एरिया में आपके ही जितना कॉम्पिटेंट डॉक्टर 25 लेता है, तो आप क्या क्यों, दिस आर्ग्यूमेंट कैन नॉट स्टैंड. आई हैव अ पॉलिसी फॉर 5 lakhs, आई कैन गो टू एनीबडी. Only thing, if that doctor has charged less for the same treatment to the same person, or rather to some other person for the same treatment, if he has charged less, then yes, I am bound to accept the reasonability clause. But if my doctor is charging same money to all the patient, insurance company stand goes down. And every time you don't have to go to ombudsman, even in grievance cell, if your argument is correct, if your documents are in order, you always win over the situation.
On a question like this, I wanted to ask you, Mr. Barot, what about these online policy? Policy Bazaar has been listed, and all these, should we be going on online? And what are the advantages and disadvantages of that?
Two important things people don't understand: non-disclosure and misrepresentation. If you'll see, online policy very lightly asks certain questions, so people don't go back. कि अरे यार, मैं आपको बताता हूँ, अभी IRDA ने एक clause introduce किया that if your policy has run for more than 8 years, then even if your non-disclosure or misrepresentation will be taken care of. It doesn't work like that. 2 cases I will explain. Somebody who has undergone a heart surgery, and in his discharge card, it is found that 20 years back, he had undergone a dengue fever or hospitalization for 2 days, and he had not declared. Basically, it is not connected to heart treatment at all, but insurance company has a right to avoid the claim and void the contract, stating that you had not declared this. But IRDA protects that person, that the fever of 20 years back and the heart problem currently are not connected, so he should be pardoned off and the claim will be settled. But somebody taking a diabetes medicine every day, doing diets and exercise, if he doesn't write diabetes disclosure, and if 8 years have passed, he will not be pardoned that yes, you are innocent and you have not declared, we will settle your claim. So certain things are to be understood by personal advice. No online platform will tell you this. And maximum complaints on IRDA, you can Google it, are on this online sold policies, because most of the claims are not being honored either on declaration of income or on declaration of past history. This is what basically I have seen. So as I am in the sales field, you might feel that this man is telling this, but everything is on Google. You can check that how many complaints are IRDA reached IRDA, how many are sold through intermediaries and sold through online. Maximum is through online. Rejection of claims also maximum through online, because the machinery is not there to extract the right information required.
One more question, sir, I wanted to ask you regarding car policies. It is more than health insurance that we are paying most often than not. So which is the car policy that we should be taking?
Sir, I suggest any car which is costing more than 10 lakhs of rupees, you should have add-on covers like, see, in Bombay, earlier we never seen that flood claims. You know what? Flood claim, if the car is parked and flooded, I am getting under my comprehensive policy. But circumstances in last 5 years, that sudden rain increases the water level, and I had no alternative than to drive the vehicle in that water, and engine sucks that water. Cost of repair of engine is sometimes more than the value of the car. Now, if I have not opted for an engine protection cover, I don't get the claim and I have to lose the entire money because car gets total lost. So zero depreciation, engine protection, and consumable. These three, there are lots of cosmetic add-on covers are available. But if your car is within 7 years and if it is expensive, then forget about all other covers like roadside assistance and blah, blah, blah. But to save your money in the event of a claim, zero depreciation, engine and gearbox protection, and miscellaneous. Whenever the car goes to a dealer's place, if the bill is 12,000, 1,200 is minimum consumable, which is not explained to you and which you have to pay. So if you opted for this coverage, it is always paying, and you shell out hardly 1,500 rupees from your pocket and take your car back home. Coming to the company, I do not advocate any company as such, but as Dr. Himanshu and overall approach, Bajaj Allianz so far has proved themselves as customer friendly, and if there is minor here and there also, they are settling the claim, which is absolutely customer friendly approach. But such companies are always expensive, and we go on numbers. As the gentleman said, that in Bajaj also there are 3 policies. So if you go for Healthcare Supreme, then you get your OPD charges, then you get your physiotherapy, but people don't go for it. वो सोचते हैं कि ये भी 5 लाख है और ये भी 5 लाख है, तो ज्यादा पैसा क्यों खर्चा करने का? And sir, the cashless portion, whenever you buy a car insurance, first of all, before giving the check, make sure that the garage is, whether it is A, that is dealership, or B grade garage in your area which you are going to utilize, are there on the cashless network or not? Because otherwise, ultimately it works out that you pay and then you recover after 1 month of deductions.
So the question on medical equipment breakdown policy.
Yeah.
How much should we be, and which is a good user-friendly company? Because most companies don't cover up our lasers and they don't cover up many of our equipments. So
then there is a reason for it. I might be sounding a little harsh, but most of the doctors go for equipment insurance when more or less the life of the equipment is getting over. And the claim comes more of a wear and tear part than the damage part. So if you have taken the insurance when you have installed the equipment, and by submitting your AMCs and invoices, companies like ICICI, Bajaj Allianz, New India Assurance would happily accept it, and even the claims are getting settled perfect. But initially, around 20 years back, when this instrument started coming in, unfortunately due to bad moral, insurance company, जैसे doctors का या doctors hospitals का insurance लेने को डरते हैं, वैसे unless they understand it, upfront they are saying no. But if a detailed explanation has been given about the age of machine, the maintenance procedure, and the life of machine, everybody will do it around 1.2 or 2, maximum 2.5% insurance.
So you have a CMC by a company for the first 5 to 6 years. You don't need an insurance because the company has given me CMC. And then I go to the insurance. Does it mean that I've gone late?
Yes, sir. Because if every AMC will have a gap. They will say...
CMC. I'm talking of CMC. Complete maintenance contract that I have. Every part will be replaced by the company.
Irrespective of the reason of the damage?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that means, see sir, उनको पता है कि अब वो लोग नहीं कर रहे हैं और हमारे पास आए हैं, तो chances claims का ज़्यादा है. See sir, unfortunately, insurance, we are still in 1947. If I, instead of being prejudiced to you, if I try to understand your problem and understand my risk, I would be definitely accepting. So we are taking up with certain companies wherein with detailed studies of groups, such things will be taken care of instead of being prejudiced.
Great. Thanks. Gaurav, anything that you would like to ask?
I think I've got all my answers. Thank you.
I think everything is well covered.
Yeah. So, as I put it for the juniors, first, the government takes 30%, 33% of your income. Then the equipment manufacturers take the rest of the income. And then to protect those incomes, the equipment, you buy insurance. The insurance takes the other money. And to fund your equipment, you take a loan from the bank. So the bankers take the money. After that, the government again charges you taxes for whatever little that you made. और बाकी कुछ बचा तो महंगाई मार गई. End of the day, we are working for this big community in medicine. to pay the equipment manufacturers, the insurance, and the bankers.
But I think still insurance mafia is not as bad as it is in the US and other countries. Still, we are fortunate that way.
Not at all, sir. It's quite bad.
It's getting bad, yeah, I know, but it's not at present.
Sir, what is IRDA? If I ask, I don't want to get into that, but it's a faceless monster who doesn't answer. A TPA doesn't take calls. We have no recluse to anyone. Nobody is there to take our clause.
That's why we are creating, there is already a company called Insurance Samadhan in the market, and I'm also working on the same lines that, sir, today, if you open 2020 February, there is a magazine name, I'm not getting it, which says 900,000 claims are being rejected every year. A common public will lose faith in insurance. Sir, today, if I'm diabetic, if I'm blood pressure, if I'm having heart problem, I have crossed 45, insurance companies are not offering me insurance. That means, as you rightly said, I'm paying taxes from my nose from the time I started earning till my retirement. But at the time of retirement, the wear and tear part, two knee replacement costs minimum 7 lakhs today, and 2 cataract will cost me 3 lakhs. So 10 lakhs, if I don't have insurance, I am supposed to shell it out from my retirement funds. It is a very sorry state for our government, and it has to be taken care of. Up tax net, but
I think we lost him, but he will come back again. Vinodji, any questions? But Chanda, any point that you would like to mention? I really appreciate Vignesh and your and Chanda's time. It's getting just a heated discussion.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having us here. It was fun interacting with you all.
Chanda, any passing remark that you would like to pass before we...
Oh, I love the passion that doctors have in discussing about all these things. And I hope we are able to help them.
With a promise to get you back again. Anna, Ron?
Yeah, definitely.
I just have a very short question.
Vinodji, we have to get them back again to understand.
Yeah, sure. Dr. Rajesh want to ask something.
Yes, sir.
Just ask one thing. See, we have this group indemnity insurance by the associations, like by MOS or anything. So is it dealt like a group insurance, or it is like individuals? It's an individual insurance.
The group indemnity is like an individual insurance. So only the prices are negotiated in that. I mean, it's not like a group health insurance. That's very different. The group health insurance is like a single policy taken and claims paid out of it, and then they monitor the progress of that and how much of the claims etc. This indemnity policy is actually an individual policy that will be in your name, in your specific name. So it's apart from negotiating for the price and the coverage, there's nothing per se in that.
And just one more thing, that suppose the association has negotiated for 1,000 members to join in that scheme. Now suppose 1,000 have not joined and only 500 have joined. So
that doesn't really matter. They've agreed upon a particular price to give you, and they're going to give you that price, and it'll move on that way. So the commitment does not matter per se when you're taking your insurance.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. We are so glad to have such pearls of wisdom from our pioneers and our esteemed speakers. I would now request the President of IRSI, Dr. Vinod Arora, to give a vote of thanks to the speakers.
It was a wonderful session, and I think we have covered almost all the things, every aspect of insurance, from life insurance, medical insurance, group insurance, everything was covered well. And we all gained from this discussion also. I think the audience much have benefited from this. With this, I would like to thank all the guest faculty, speakers, Dr. M, and our IRSI executives here, and the organizers, Dr. Pooja and Dr. Rohan, Dr. Rajesh, Dr. Chanda, and Dr. Dinesh has left. So everyone, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll see you all next month back for season 2, chapter 1 on cataract counseling. We would also like to thank our microvision team, Mr. Ashok and Mr. Navneet, for all their help at the back end all throughout the last 14 chapters to run all these events so smoothly. Thank you all. See you all next month. Good night.
So just like to compliment, appreciate the hard work being done by Pooja and Rohan, because they have made this youthful RSI very vibrant. So congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It means a lot to us.
Thank you for being beginning till the end. Really appreciate your time and efforts. Gaurav, thanks so much. And Kamal Bhai, thank you for being there. Had a very
I got interrupted in between. Sorry, dear.
No problem. Gaurav, thanks always for being there from the beginning to the end to support
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.